Matthew, go ahead.
Sure. Thanks a lot. On behalf of the Free UN Coalition for Access, thanks for coming to do these budget briefings. I wanted to ask you about a quote from the Irish government, who's serving obviously in the Golan Heights. They've said that it's 9 million euros behind in terms of repaying them for service in UNDOF, and their quote was that the UN quote needs to get its act together. So I wanted to know just what you would respond to government saying that. I also wanted to know this year. There were some questions that arose about the Secretary General's travel, in particular taking a Qatar-funded private jet to his mediation in the Middle East. So it was said that because the budget is so low, he has to take these things. I wanted to know, are these recorded anywhere? Is there any way to get a sense both what the UN-funded budget for travel of the Secretary General is, and also this was called in-kind. So I wanted to know, are these type of contributions recorded somewhere? Are they taken out of what's owed in dues? Where could we find out about them? And finally, what's the status of the UN staff union? Do you recognize the old union? Do you recognize the 3 people that were elected in December? And what's the plan for there actually to be a functioning staff union to negotiate management issues with? Thanks.
Okay. Let me deal with one by one. The Italian, Irish, the contingent and troops, you're quite right. The UN owes, as of beginning of this month, $5.5 million in troop cost, and the 4.2 million for COE, for instance. You mentioned about 10 million, perhaps something of that. And as I told you, that this kind of reimbursement, that we call it, of services they provided, have to be financed by peacekeeping budget. So if this contribution from assessed contribution by member state is delayed, and we don't have cash to pay, this is the situation. And what we have been trying to do in Secretariat is that as soon as cash is available in comfortable level, because it's not just simply reimbursement, peacekeeping operations itself need money, so we cannot spend all money for this. We are trying to expedite the reimbursement, particularly troop cost area. We are current until August after payment. This amount I told you beginning of the month, this month. So therefore, at the end of the year, you're going to see the different, probably half of that amount. In terms of troop cost, as I say. However, COE is another situation. I'm not very familiar with the relationship of Irish contingent and other thing UNDOF, because they have to verify in the memorandum of understanding on the value of equipment and others and depreciation value. So you cannot just you get claim and you settle it. You really need time consultation. That's why there is a kind of time lag also. So this is the point that I just wanted to make. And the second is about Secretary General's trip. You mentioned about it. Well, you have a budget of program budget for 2014-15. And Secretary General's travel, and then this travel in this executive office and all this belongs to the core section of the budget in section 1. We have closer to 30 sections in budget. In each section, we do have object expenditures, staff cost, as you say, travel, consultant, and so on. So you will see we have to provide the so-called performance report, how much you will spend, how much budget was, how much you will spend. That's what we're going to see in the performance report on this one. And additional, as you mentioned about some kind of voluntary contribution, so long as it is used in the kind of kind of trust fund, extra budgetary and things, then it's a kind of financial statement or trust fund. Of course, every financial, 2 years financial year over, it comes. So you cannot get immediately. You have to wait for this one. So therefore, financial statement or trust fund will indicate all these things. So therefore, that's the way. And third one is the union association, staff association, sorry. I think last time I was here, that was still time that they have not resolution on this one. And I appeared, indicated the willingness of administration to try to help the resolving this issue. That time there were 3 groups of union people who are contesting. And I indicated that normally, in the staff statute and other staff council statute, they have to settle its arbitration committee. But there was an issue or confusion about composition and status of arbitration committee. It didn't work well. So administration proposed to those three parties in the recruiting, whatever, employing independent arbitrator to talk about and come up with solution on this one. Two of the groups agreed, and one of the three groups didn't agree, despite our effort. So there was no agreement on this one. Since then, the kind of stalemate continued. And it is, in my opinion, this very unhealthy for staff themselves, but also management. Because you are familiar with this staff management committee that I'm representing, Secretary General, and also other staff management consultation mechanism. So many issues on the question of welfare of staff have to be consulted on this one. And it's better to have this fully accepted, agreed upon this representative of staff as soon as possible. Management is always open, stand ready this one. At the same time, we are very much sensitive not to be seen as interfering in this dispute among staff association. We are ready to any constructive solution because it is a desire, interest of all parties concerned. And this situation shouldn't be continued forever.